And then go to the shop, I think is where it is, so you can meet everybody.
Let's start combing that up.
Actually, try to participate. Yeah, that's probably why you try something. Maybe the three dots.
How are you?
Versus, yeah, there you go.
I'm doing good.
I know he's been raising.
Oh, I expect that from him.
I wasn't raised. That's it. That's been nice.
So the third one, allow, we don't want them to unmute. And then what else?
One of us has to be nice.
Allow
They
participants.
stay off the charge.
That's what my dad told me the same thing. Him and my mom are like 90 days.
Hey, wait a minute.
That's why you belong.
My wife's the nice one. I'm the quiet one.
Ain't either. He says she'll say why, buddy. That's not quiet, unless I got something in there.
Right.
I'm not the quietest person. But I've learned to be a little quieter.
Yes. You still have time.
I have no idea.
Sorry, what? Yes. You don't want to look, I don't like orange.
No one gives us how to start killing. And I'm allergic to mouse, I can't bracelets. I really am though. Metals, certain metals, break me all the time. You're so cool. They're like, no, green. I was like, no, hi. I would like to.
Probably talking about this. We should have signed in there. Maybe we could get them to change it. So they're charging just for.
He's looking behind me. There ain't nobody back there. Does he not know that? It's not me. It's like this. No. Oh, she's doing it. You better run. You better run. I don't know, Gerald might be meaner.
I now call this regular board meeting of January 27, 2021 to order. Sarah, will you lead us in the pledge, please?
Flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call.
Mayor Protem?
Here.
Mr. Rojas?
Here.
Ms. Gilman? Here. Mr. Rivera?
Here.
Mr. Thorne? Mr. Tregell?
Here.
Madam Mayor?
Here. Approval of the agenda.
amend the agenda, adding the 202 Grimes document to the receipt. There in your packet, that is on the table. Where we put
Under, we could replace that with A.
added in as and under new. So will we put it under letter B, under
Yes.
O?
To go to Grimes, put it under old. B.
So I motion to approve the regular board meeting with the amended 202 Grimes under letter B under A. For June 27, 2025.
Second. Roll call.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
Mr. Rojas,
Yes.
Ms. Gilman,
Yeah.
Mr. Romero,
Should be South Grimes, right?
I'm sorry.
Should be South Grimes.
Mr. Trudell,
Approval of the regular meeting minutes for May 22nd, 2025.
Air conditioning, a lot of noise.
Approval of the regular meeting minutes for May 22nd, 2025.
Question on that number 6. We got Harry Shelton. And she didn't have a permit for her house or none of that. And we approved that.
We have to let it stand, is it?
Do we?
It's already,
Okay, so I want to find out what we're gonna do
we
about it.
do.
But, we're not talking about,
Yes, sir, I am.
yeah, what you,
No, I'll make sure.
I don't remember her talking about rezoning lots. I was here. I should remember. I didn't.
Yeah, for water tap, and not for rezoning. She just basically brought that to make me listen to it, and she just said that she wanted to talk about the water tap. We approved the tap. and it's a rezoning.
She had previously mentioned about rezoning because she was considering putting storage units. That was where that subject came up. Can you hear me? She said that she was reconsidering building homes and putting in storage units. And that's where the rezoning came up.
She asked everyone that lives around her. Like me,
No, that would, if that were to come up, that would have to be cleared with the neighborhood.
So then would you still require a water tap? If it's stored, you need to know.
No, she was talking about rezoning. Possibly if she couldn't get a water tap, she was thinking of doing storage units. And then she would have to ask for, rezoning.
Yeah.
But she didn't, she decided not to ask for the rezoning, she just wanted the water tap. Right?
She said she had 13 lots,
How many?
13.
I believe her intention was to build like a total of 3 houses over there, but with not getting the first water tap, I think she thought if she was denied, instead of building houses, she would put storage units. But I think being she's got 1 tap, she's kind of waiting to see what goes on in the future. So I don't think she's looking at rezoning right now.
Anything else on the regular meeting minutes for May 22nd, 2025?
There's a couple of typos. Under number 9, where it says he will haul, instead of HALL, it should be HAUL. And then under the office report, where it says down towards the middle, we will let the board know. I'm thinking that should be that instead of the column low.
Number 7, did we approve the liquor license?
Are we good?
On this, town hall discussions, the sheriff's department, have we had any updates on this? What they're doing? I haven't seen them around no more. Do we still have them or what?
I haven't gotten a schedule from the sheriff, but I will check with him tomorrow, no, Monday.
Have we gotten any reports on what they have done?
No, I ordered one yesterday. Right?
And I did receive it today. So that was for the 911 call outs that we asked a report for. The only thing,
I'll ask him for a report.
We've been paying them for what, 2 months, and we haven't had not one report.
I will ask him on Monday. I will send him the email and then talk to him.
Okay.
Anything else? Can I get a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes for May 22nd, 2025?
Make a motion, we accept the minutes for the May 22nd, 2025 meeting.
Second.
Roll call?
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
Mr. Barajas,
Yes.
Ms. Gilman,
Yeah.
Mr. Romero,
Yes.
Mr. Trujillo.
Yes.
Can I get a motion to approve meeting minutes for June 4th, 2025.
Thank you.
Any questions?
I make motion that we make, approve the agenda for June 4th, 2025.
The minutes.
I second.
Thank you, Bob.
Roll call.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
Mr. Rojas,
Yes.
Ms. Gilman,
Yes.
Mr. Romero, Mr. Trillo.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but I'm probably gonna chop up this name. Is it Marguerite?
It's Marquita.
Marquita? Okay, you're up, ma'am.
I just had a question, maybe you guys could review the current law here is mobile homes to come into the town have to be 10 years or newer. And I was wondering how we could go about thinking, considering changing to at least 30 years to newer, because the homes built in the 90s are just as good as the ones that are being built now. And if we could think about that. There's some good homes that are out there, and I'm wanting to bring one into the town, so that's what I wanted to ask.
What year did you say?
30 years and newer, like from 1990 and newer, like current ones also. I don't have nothing against the newer ones, but some other ones are.
Is it remodeled?
It's in good condition.
Well, I think that's a part of what we're gonna discuss in our workshop in a couple of weeks.
Okay,
So it's something we can look at then.
okay. All right, I'll keep listening. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Didn't we have something that about, when they put the trailer right here, right across the street from me? About the trailers, they have to be a certain year. They have to go through the inspection and everything. Right below Sudar's, 2 doors down. My niece lives there, I think Chaka owns it.
Well, is that where?
But I think we could add.
Yeah,
this.
well, your mom, she lives in that trailer. And when they brought it in, they inspected the whole thing, and it had to be approved by the board that livable.
Well, this is where we can add this to our workshop in a couple of weeks, and then that can come up on that. Okay? Sound good? Mr. Romero? We can add it to our workshop?
Yeah. See if we could find anything when they put that in there.
Do you have some property in mind?
Yes, I'm on 300 Francisco Street. 300 Francisco Street, right at the end where you turn the low-income apartments. Would be right there.
She's over by my house.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Utility.
Yeah, there.
Wait, got a question for me?
I do.
Okay.
When are we gonna start mosquito spraying? There's been a positive test already in Larimer County for West Nile.
As far as this,
Yes, ma'am?
is our machine,
No, we can't do mosquito spraying this year. The machine wasn't calibrated on time and we missed the only time here in Colorado. So.
Mosquitoes are bad.
Mhm.
I didn't know nothing about that.
I didn't either.
Well, they didn't send out, they usually send out a flyer every year, and we didn't get the flyer this year showing the dates. We didn't get it till it was too late, because we called to ask them when they were coming to Colorado, and we had already missed the date.
just $5 grand, just got around this rail.
Yeah.
Anything else?
How about wheat spray? Maybe it's just a. I think it's popping up all over the place. On side of properties, alongside the road,
Uh,
down by the
You
sewer
have,
plant.
weed killer?
I think that Chuck with Derek, he had some kind of machine where he would spray for the weeds, so we probably still have it out there, and I believe,
I've been using the hand pump, the one that I've been
Yeah.
using around the building and stuff.
and I don't know if that, I thought you got all that weed killer delivered when you first started, so I believe we probably have the weed killer, so we'll just have to figure out
Yep.
what machine or whatever we need to use.
You used to hook it up to the little riding lawnmowers, the green one, you used to put it on that and drive around and spray it.
Okay, yeah, so, was it liquid? Because I think what we got was powder.
No, it's liquid.
Oh, is it liquid?
Yeah.
Okay.
I might be able to get an extra weed sprayer. What they asked us. I'll ask.
Well, that was my question,
Okay.
was about the mosquitoes, but you answered that, so thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
For Stephanie and Sarah. Thank you. Any questions?
How's your training going?
Good, actually, Trinidad had came up 16th, 17th, somewhere around there. And we went around and fixed a couple of issues that we had, so I did some training and they went ahead and gave me the okay to start changing out gas meters, but I'm just waiting for another part to finish that so I can change out the gas meters. So I'm coming along. It's getting there.
You ever get the oil change on the vehicles?
I got the oil stuff, the oil change stuff for it. I just haven't had time because this week has been meter reads. But I will get to it first next week.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else?
Oh, Rich, I was riding around and across the street from Mr. Trujillo. This has been there for a while now. That tunnel. We have to do something about that because it ain't improving. We have to get some cement in there, somewhere to shore that up.
Yeah, me and
We talked about it a little bit
Yeah.
today, but that thing is so deep, if you pour cement, and it's just gonna go
Well,
south.
no, you have to put
My suggestion was for him to cut a hole, put
Barrel.
a barrel down in there, and just fill it with dirt. And then compact it. That should solve the problem, because that, from what I understand, it's like a tunnel running through underneath.
Yeah, it's a whole tunnel from the way up there all this way.
Right.
I used to crawl in it.
Yeah.
You haven't been doing that lately, have you?
No, no, I went up there and I looked to see.
Well, I was just wondering, because you knew
Yeah.
that.
Well,
There.
you have to look at it or maybe put some, brace it up and this and that underneath, you know. And then put the cement on it, see if it's feasible. You know, you have to go look at it. I
Yeah,
looked at
probably.
it from the top.
I kind of thought that if we put a 55-gallon barrel, cut it in half, put it in vertically and just fill it with dirt or cement, and then compact. it
Well, how
on.
about the rest of it around the
There's
edge?
two places there that have caved in,
Yeah,
and they put those big old concrete pieces out there. And that was due to somebody parking their semi across the street. Not saying any
yeah, but
name,
we have to look into that. We, you know, have to look, see what we should do.
Another thing we could do too is bring it up on the bottom and pour some concrete on top of it.
Yeah, to put some, you know, there's a way to put cement on there, but,
Yes, of course.
but we have, but you have to look at it.
probably put some plywood and
feasible.
some mesh over it.
Yeah, I'll make sure I get that on the agenda.
This is Donna's, husband. He did a lot of cement work, maybe. He could See what,
What do you charge?
see what we could do.
What we could do, and I could do it, because we got plenty of cement out there.
Well, I seen it the other day and we have to do, it's been there for a couple
For,
of years
yeah,
already.
for many years.
We have to do something about it.
There's also a house that's there, that's the roof is falling in.
Yeah, that one.
Kids go in there. Get hurt. And I don't know, I think I'm not sure whose property it is. I think it's, Robert Avila's, from what I understand. So maybe we need to,
Across the street there. Another thing I noticed that Rick going to the school. There's a walkway for the kids. But instead of repairing it, they just fenced it off, so the kids, I was going up, kids were coming out of school, but they had to wait till the cars passed and that, you know, they couldn't use that little walkway because it's fenced off and eventually something has to be done with that bridge too. You can't just let it go by and this and that. We have to look into that too, okay?
Okay.
So Rich, you know, see,
put that on the menu list. to do.
Yeah,
Does that belong
the
to
honey-do list ain't getting no shorter.
the state or the railroad?
What?
The bridge?
no, it wouldn't belong to the railroad. The railroad was
They
on
own that property
up
around there.
further. Oh, well, the bridge though belongs to the town, I guess, that bridge.
I don't know, that's what I'm asking, who the bridge belongs to.
know.
Because who would have,
I think not long ago, they came and did some inspection on the bridges for the town, so I think that the town owns them or it's our
it belongs
response.
to the town?
I believe so. We'd have to double check, but
Okay, then,
Why
well,
is the walkway blocked off?
I don't know. They fenced it off. The boards are all rotten.
The boards
The
are.
boards are all rotten in that.
Then I
But
guess we'll
instead of fixing it, they fenced it off.
Yeah.
But I noticed the kids had to wait, they couldn't use that. They had to wait for the vehicles to go by, so something to look at.
Need to look into it.
okay. Is that Lawson or East First or what is that? I just said that Lawson. Okay,
Back to Paulson. Thank you.
anything else for him?
So that's-
Thank you. Rich. Project report, you have one, right? Right, they all have one. SGM is working on final design issues for the division of water resource recommendation to be added to the reservoir for the completion. Number two, phase two work will be put out to bid on July with construction to begin in August. Phase two work will be paid for by the USDA grant for the augmentation fund. Water storage tank, we have had several meetings with Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment staff and are moving forward on getting all information to them for funding. We acquired a Parks and Wildlife Bear Grant. We had an open house town hall meeting with Bob Holder and Julie Connexon. Ian Aguilar to discuss bear safety and they handed out bear straps for residential trash enclosures. And then they met with Ringo's and American how to redo their trash dumpsters to deter the bears. And we also will be getting bear-proof trash containers in the parks, which will be paid for with grant money from the Division of Wildlife.
That's not the resident uses, right? It's for the parks and recreation.
Well, that's also an issue, and I'm not sure how we're supposed to address it because I've seen it myself. Especially on Sunday evening, Monday morning, the people coming from up in the hills, they pull up right there at the park and dump their trash. And whether it's full or not, then they'll set it there on the side. And that's just lunch for the bears. Also on, you'll see that there will be bids going out for the completion of the augmentation fund. We are still in litigation with Siete. Adam is working with him, but Siete will represent, I take that back. Peter Doherty will represent us on this Siete case through Sursa. And Adam has been working closely with him, trying to help him get all the information he needs. We have a court date set for February 7th.
February, I believe, 2nd through 7th.
And so that's where we're at with that. And the town has actually sent out whatever payments other than what they're asking for attorney fees and interest. The town and quote through USDA, they have paid CFA. So those are completed. So now it's just, however, the lawsuit will go forward. And you have the town office report. Any questions on the project report? I'm sorry. And you have office report. And if you look at the total for delinquent utilities, it's come down substantially from back in September, October of last year. It's like $9,000 down. Yes, sir.
Town trustees we authorized to see who owes money to the town?
I don't think so. Because those are customer,
The town representative,
I see what you see. As far as,
I know, but I don't know who these people are.
well, I don't know who they are,
Would it
and,
do any good to
but I'm
go
gonna
there?
say, I don't know who they are, but I'm not gonna pay their bill,
Did
you
see
know?
what Walter
The only
did one
time that they share it with the board is when they have to take action. As far as, when they're really delinquent. But I believe that the board, and that's enough for another day, but I believe the board should set some kind of standards as to, for delinquency on the utilities. Because we're never gonna get caught up, and it's never gonna go down if we don't do something to correct.
It's gonna get worse.
Oh, I know, but like I said, it's gone down a lot.
I'm just gonna go back up.
Don't say that. Let's get it down
On the
first.
1st of August. it's gonna-
I know, but that has nothing to do with this board here. Or the
Well, I'm not saying
administration
that-
now.
I'm not saying that it does have anything to do with us, I'm just saying that it's gonna happen.
I'm just saying that, we're only trying to get done what should have been done before.
20 years ago.
Regardless of when it was, but, the rates have been increased steadily and, in certain increments, then it would have made everybody's life much easier and they ease into it than to slap them with a $30 rate increase. But it has to be done in order for us to get the storage tanks replaced. So any other questions for office report?
Progress on Mauricio Well. Mauricio Well, any progress on what stays here?
No, I did try calling them yesterday and I haven't received a call back. So I believe that they have been working out in Rye. And I'm trying to get them out here. I have till December 15th to get that done. So I will stay on the phone and keep harassing them.
It seems to me that we need some answers from those people. This thing has been ongoing for way too long.
And they've set 3 different dates that they'd be out here and they just haven't showed up. And I had spoke with their office manager about 2 weeks ago, right before I went on vacation. And she said that they were gonna be out here last week, was I on vacation? But they didn't show up. So right now, I guess I need to check to see with this grant if I can maybe find a different contractor to do it, if there's anybody else. But I did submit with this water grant that I'm using to pay for it, that we would use them. So in the meantime, I will get a hold of the lady in charge of the grant and see if we can maybe go through somebody else and stay on them. But I've been calling them every week and some days they'll answer, like yesterday, I didn't get a response, so.
On that, Mauricio, well, also, even get it repaired, we can't not have it up and running. That's still on that court order.
Mhm. So we're running the heck out of the 3 wells that we do have.
What we do have, but yeah, Mauricio cannot go
I'm sorry.
live
Mhm.
until, even after it's repaired. But we have till the end of December or mid-December to
December
use up that
15th.
grant money. And I think that's one of the reasons, we haven't really been after. I know he's been working a lot out in Kim or something at that helium plant. And so even if it's up and running, we can't do anything with it. And that's from the state. So once
So
we,
why fix it?
Huh?
We
have to get it
why
fixed.
not fix it?
I don't know, but we have to get it fixed. As, once we get that one completed, then we can run it. So hopefully by the end of the year, we can have it back up and running.
So why don't we put the labor off on that until we get the presentation? Then we get it pumped fixed.
But it's still out, because if, once he fixes it, he'll get paid through that grant money, and then, I think you can only run it to get a sample.
So once we get it up and running, I have 20 days to get several samples done because they haven't been done for years, but they're not making us do it, being that it's down. But the problem with putting it off is this money for this grant's already been obligated to that, so I can't
Right.
just say, oh, we're not gonna do this, we'll use it elsewhere. So I mean,
So it's kind of like,
yeah, yeah.
that's kind of like what she did with the other part of it for that repair on that line up on Lynn and Aspen.
County Road 53-7 going out by the cemetery.
So we just took bids on, that's coming out of the grant money too. I know.
Now, in other words, we can't get Mauricio online. We straighten everything out, but this doesn't help the people that are up there hauling that water.
Right.
It doesn't help them at all.
We still have to, like I said, because that's even one of the things that's written on that order is that we cannot, even when it's repaired, we cannot have it running. And that comes from the state, their order.
And if
Anything
things
else?
go as planned, the the Og Pond should be done by October, November-ish. So it's only 5 weeks worth of work left up there. So right now they're working on the bid. We have to advertise, I think, for 2 weeks and then accept a contractor. So once they start, they're hoping by October, November, it should be completed. So then maybe the water restrictions can go away, Mauricio can go back
We'll hope
online.
that, Jerry McDaniels can get that lifted once we get that done. And then it should be running.
Gas leaks. The office report. Notice that the town, city of Trinidad is being called to do the work on the gas, whatever in town. Look at Walsenburg.
I don't think they have anybody yet. They haven't answered. And so we had a meeting with the city manager and their two gas supervisors.
Yep.
And they agreed to help us out because Walsenburg, I don't know what's going on there. The guy that was doing it isn't there anymore, and I don't know who's in charge of the gas department, because I called and I actually called about the billing, and then they gave me a utility worker, and I'm like, I don't think they're gonna help me. So I don't know what's going on with Walsenburg. But Trinidad has been really good helping us, and that's, they were approved through that one program that he's taken to BOQ. And so they're willing to work with him to help train him to get his OQ, or get OQ for the town of Egler. Anything else?
Steph, would you want to check into the water license?
Well, kind of thought about it, but with everything else going on, I don't think I have the time to do that as well.
I just was wondering for that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe when we get caught up with all the office stuff, but for right now, I don't think I have the time.
Before we close up the office report, if you don't have any more questions, so this week, they started 2023 audits. That'll be our final delinquent audits, and it should be completed next month. Our audits. The delinquent audits, they started the last one, 2023 this week. And hopefully will be done next month.
Good job.
Thank you, Stephanie, Sarah. Anything else? No, okay, we're gonna go to old, and we need to table ordinance 288 of the second reading because it's not been 30 days from. So I need a motion to table it.
I motion we table the ordinance 288 until the town meeting.
Roll call.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
Mr. Barajas,
Yes.
Ms. Galvin,
Yes.
Mr. Romero,
Yes.
Mr. Trill.
Yes.
To Grimes Street. Take it away.
So we've had Mr. Drake for 202 Grimes Street. Wanting to know what we're gonna do, if we're going to rezone, if we're gonna approve him to put that fourplex. So we spoke with, or Mayor Encina spoke with Adam Osmus, the attorney, and he said the area doesn't need to be rezoned. It's in a residential, so even if they're doing a fourplex and renting them out, it can stay residential. So basically, we are just asking for you to look at the plans and either approve the fourplex or deny it, so we can give this gentleman an answer. They have that old brick house there that they basically demolished, but something needs to be done with it. And he's not willing to come down and demolish it or do anything until he gets an answer on, is he gonna be able to build a fourplex so he can bring all his equipment at once? So I don't know how everybody feels. I know a lot of the community's against it because it's such a small area and parking is a big issue. I mean, if there's 4 units there, we're looking at 4 to 8 extra cars right there on that block. So Sarah put all the plans for that area. I think there's the site plan showing what he's wanting to do outdoors, the fourplex plan. So basically, I mean, I don't know how everybody feels, but if we could get a, yes, he can go ahead and get it built or no. And then we also have the issue is we're not giving out water meters. And I mean, that won't be changing until October, November, hopefully when we get the Og Pond done. So just kind of wanting a decision because he's been waiting for a couple years on what we're gonna do with that.
I thought once it was, once the rezone, if it was gonna have to be rezoned, then it would be rezoned through the attorney. And then it would be up to this gentleman to set up a time where he can set up a meeting with all of the neighbors. So why is he kind of like that? That wasn't,
Well,
I didn't hear any of that what you were talking about.
yeah, so our old, sorry.
Okay.
Our old attorney had said that basically we had to just rezone it and then set a public meeting. So that would have been the town's responsibility to set a public meeting for rezoning. But then he never did anything. So now that the new attorney looked at it, he didn't understand why it needed to be rezoned because it's a residential area and it's still going to be residential. So the new attorney said, based on the state statutes, because we don't really have anything in our ordinances or rezoning, that it doesn't need to be rezoned. It's residential. So he said it's basically up to the board to approve it or deny it.
Okay, well, back to what I was asking. If it does not need to be rezoned, so we should just let him know it doesn't have to be rezoned, it still can fall. But then that puts it back into his plate or to his court, whatever, however you want to say it, where he has to set up a time. Because he said he was going to, once they found out if it was going to be rezoned, if it had to be, then he said that he would set up a time where he would go and he would set up a meeting with all of them, with that neighborhood. And so now he's saying that he's not gonna do anything until we either approve or deny.
Well, it was up to the town. If the town was gonna rezone it before that could be done, there would have to be a public hearing so that the community members could come and say, yes, we want this, no, we don't, and give their reasons. So being that it doesn't have to be rezoned, we don't have to have that meeting, but it would have been up to the town to do it, not the customer, not the guy that wants to build it.
But if it's not gonna be rezoned, sorry, if it's not gonna be rezoned, then we still have to, the town still has to give the neighborhood the chance to come and voice their opinion before we can tell him, this is what, yes, nay, or no, or yes.
So I guess if, these are wanting to get yeah, if these are wanting to get the community's opinion on it, the board can vote to have the attorney set up a public hearing and I don't even know if it would be a hearing because it's not for rezoning,
Yeah.
but to have them come voice,
Public input.
yeah, their input and go
Yeah.
from there before you make a decision.
'Cause I don't
I'm not
live
an
in
architect, but
How many
how are
lots
these
is
gonna
that?
fit there?
I believe it's
One lot?
one or two
I think
lots.
It's just one lot.
Yeah,
You gonna put,
I don't know how this is, and if they're not gonna be done, they're all gonna be studio apartments. And but even at that, I'm not understanding how they're gonna fit in that one
lot.
property that's right there, yeah.
That's
Mini sheds
the figure.
Those mini sheds that they have,
I
probably gonna put 4 of them together.
don't know, I just,
I can see if there are two on top of two, but.
and they have one now, but they have one now, but they'd have to get 3 more, so.
And then you're gonna get all the cars. Have you been down that road? It's congested with all the
That's
cars,
that's
the way it is.
exactly what I was telling the girls a couple of days ago. I said, it is, both sides are, so if you take that fourplex and you put it there, where are people gonna park? And that's gonna bring more people.
6 or 7 cars more.
But you know what, even still, for him to say, well, he's not gonna do anything with that building until you get the yes or no. The public has every right, especially the people that live in that area, live on that, they have every say. And if they decide not to, that house still needs to be, or that building still needs to be.
Yeah, he's the owner, so he'll still have to.
The council has to look at it too, to rezone it.
No, we don't have to.
No, we don't have to rezone it no more. Okay, but I can't see building that
Our
there.
issues is still water tap, right?
Yeah.
So he's gonna have to wait until we get this application done before we can even make.
Are these parking spots for the cars?
I don't know. Mr. Romero, if you go look at it, I don't know where the parking, because that white house doesn't belong to him, correct? The one behind Danny's, that's not his. It's just the one little lot, whatever it is right there. So this is where I'm confused, is where it's all gonna fit.
And it looks like the lots are 65 feet by 75 feet, one lot. And I don't see on here where he would show parking. I see natural vegetation, but I also can't see that little writing. I need some glasses.
Yeah, it
I
doesn't
mean,
show
look at
parking.
it, and his design is 65 feet for the residents and the parking. There's no way. I don't think he's got enough room.
You see, this guy here.
He's putting the parking lot in front. Right here.
On the other part of the lot.
68 feet long.
Well, according to this, here's the street, and it's gonna be parking right in front.
Right, no, he's gotta have 4
the
total, so.
property.
I think we just need to put it off
Yeah.
until we get
Right.
the augmentation plan taken care of, so. Look at it then.
Right here, we have to building here, and then you have the parking lot in front.
So now we're gonna use that.
So is he gonna build on Church Street or Grimes? So
It's going to be Grimes Street would be where the front doors would be
if
facing.
he's doing Grimes, then you're saying this is facing Church.
Facing, it's
To
gonna
be
be
addressed,
facing
if it's gonna be
Church.
facing,
It's
then
gonna be facing
the
Church Street.
address would be Church, not
Well, and I
Grimes.
don't think he can do that if his address is Grimes. Don't the doors have to be facing Grimes?
Yeah.
I don't think he has a choice which way he wants to put the doors.
That's where I'm confused as to,
Well, I think it's probably better to have the residents or the people that live on that block, and then him come and explain it to them.
Right, and I think honestly, the board needs to decide, are yous okay having that over there? And if yous are, then bring the residents in, but I think the first step would for the board to vote either yes, we're okay with the sportsplex being there. I mean, everybody knows the area, the size of the lots. Or no, we're not, and I mean both, but
He said he was going to, he said once the zoning was done, and we don't need the zoning, the rezoning.
Right.
He said once the zoning was done, then he would set up a meeting and come and answer any questions that any of the neighbors have. And then we would.
And I think he was
vote on
told that by the town, that the attorney was gonna set that up and he would be here to explain. So I think a lot of this has been miscommunication between what the old attorney said and what Mr. Drake understood. And I mean, I don't know who told him from the get that he could do this and approved it basically and said it was just a matter of taking it to the board for rezoning and then he can move on. But I think it's been just a lot of miscommunication. So what the current attorney said is it's basically up to the board to look at the plans. If the board's okay with it, they can approve it and then tell the gentleman to apply for water taps, where that's my first problem is there aren't any water taps.
I would say. What I would say is, we need to set up a meeting with the people that live in that place. So that, and have this gentleman come and they can answer any questions that they have. And then if they choose, if they want, then the board can either yes or no.
Yes or no?
Because I don't think
and
it's fair for
even
us
if
to
the
do
board
without that.
approves it, he still has to wait on, so he'll have to have 4 water taps.
So he has one now, and so he'll need 4 water taps and 4 sewer taps. So he has 1 water, 1 sewer now. So, I mean, at some point, he'd have to apply for 3 more water and 3 more sewers.
Yeah, 'cause it's not fair to the people that live in that neighborhood for
No,
the board to say yes or no, because I don't live there, so I don't.
I don't either, but I think that they should have to say so.
I still say we table it until we get the water.
That's what,
Documentation part taken care of. We can't go any further with this.
can we get a
I mean,
motion to
We'll
table?
tell him yes, and then what? He has no
But,
taps.
but it's not fair to him because he's been waiting all this time. He needs some type of, some kind of.
Well, we can table it and have, him be contacted and set up a time frame so that it works for everybody. The community and the board.
Also let him know we can't give him water tap. Period.
So do we want to like set up a meeting with him to come speak to the public sometime soon, like within the next month? I don't know what the time frame is. And we have a lot of complaints about that house there, so
Yeah, we have to, but he was already supposed to have had a warning to get it either boarded up or to,
and he did get a demolition permit, I don't know, a couple of years back, but I think right now hasn't done anything because he's been waiting for an answer from the board if he can build it or not. So, and I mean, personally, I don't have to say, but I didn't think it was fair to him to give him a warning when the town's been dragging their feet for 2
yeah,
years
but
on
they
it.
had already taken it into consideration, the public safety, with the way that, it's open. If they just board up the windows or whatever, I'm sure that'll be fine till they move
So they,
forward.
before
But to have it in
demolition.
that condition, the weeds are out of control, they're worse than mine. That wasn't funny, Monica.
Okay, just give him a call and ask him if there's any way he can maybe come the next meeting. And
Next
this way
regular?
we can ask, the neighbors or the neighborhood if they want to come and talk about it. We need to get it over with.
Or do we want to do it at the town hall meeting when the public's supposed to come?
Probably
Probably at the
town hall.
Yeah,
So the next town hall meeting? Okay,
because if he's under the impression that he's not gonna do anything because he doesn't wanna make a bunch of different trips, he just wants to do all at once, that's,
and his thought was he has to bring all this equipment down here to demolish, so if he was gonna bring it, he was gonna plan to, I guess, clear his other jobs so that he could, so the gentleman I'm talking to is a contractor who is working for the owner of this property. So this guy is the one calling the contractor that's supposed to be doing the work. It's not the actual owner. So we're dealing with the contractor.
Can we also get the building inspector into this meeting?
Yes,
I forgot. I was like, same thought, Mr. Romero.
we can do that.
I was thinking the same thing. Who's the building inspector? Ken? Are we talking about Ken? Okay.
I wasn't gonna be anymore.
until we can find someone else. We agreed on
We
that.
don't have anybody. You guys already voted to have him as the building inspector because the town doesn't pay him.
I was there when we, yeah.
You actually made the motion.
To not do him as a building inspector, that's my motion.
What?
That's my motion.
What was your motion?
My motion was to make him the grant writer and.
He's not a
responsible
grant
for the
writer.
audit. Well, that's what it is.
I don't think he's a grant writer. I don't know.
That's what it is.
You think?
He does write
That's
that,
what
but
it
he
is.
has not been writing.
There's your crap right there.
But he has
He's
not
been the grant writer.
That's what his contract states, grant writer, augmentation bond, and then on the bottom it says, anything else that the town needs.
But we
That
revised
part, I
that.
was trying to get rid of that part. Things come in, building inspector, and I.
The building inspector was because we had two people that had applied, and then the one that we hired chose not to do it.
Yeah, we
And
agreed
the
to
other
keep
one
Ken
wouldn't do
until
it.
we find another one.
And the other one refused
Why don't you
to,
go with supervisor?
he didn't want to do a drug test. He refused to do a drug test, so.
No,
Are we gonna want the town attorney on this meeting or just the owner, the contractor, the residents, just so we can make sure he's available if you want him on Zoom? He could probably do it through Zoom and not have to be here in person. Just a question. I don't know if there's gonna be any technical issues that,
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can do that,
okay.
if the board agrees.
I do. I would to have the
Right.
attorney on Zoom.
You think we should have the attorney on Zoom with that meeting?
Yeah.
Mr. Trujillo,
And the building inspector too?
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
Mr. Romero,
yes,
excuse me,
yes, I said. See, what? I said yes.
thank you, sir. Now that we got that out of the way. So, made a motion to table 202 Grimes until he's notified for a town hall meeting with the public.
Jack something.
Yes, sir.
All I read that no town trustee needs to be at the town hall meetings, and I don't agree with that. Somebody from the town board has to be there, so that at the next meeting, they can discuss what was
We
discussed.
never said that they didn't have to. All we said was the mayor and the mayor pro tem do not have to be at the town hall meeting.
No, hang on, I read something different.
Yeah, we said it wasn't mandatory that the mayor and the clerk.
No, that,
I believe it's in the resolution that was just drawn up. It states in there that the town mayor, pro tem, trustees and staff don't have to be there.
Yeah, and I don't agree with it.
But wasn't that a part of the thing of having a town hall
Yeah.
meeting, was to have the board
And the
or
board's been
some of the
going.
board members,
Well,
because
yeah, but according to the ordinance, says that we didn't have to vote. Which ordinance was it?
So resolution 2025 R61, so these, we're gonna approve that today, but I mean, we need to get it revised.
Are we done with 202 Grand?
yeah, I'm just waiting for approval to table it and roll call.
I motion to table of 202 Grand until the next town hall meeting.
Roll call.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
Mr. Rojas,
Yes.
Mrs. Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Romero,
Yes.
Mr. Trio.
Yes.
And so when we get to the resolution, then we'll talk about what Mr. Romero wanted to hear. And we have approval of the bills.
What is this Carmen's Restaurant? What is that?
What?
Carmen's
Oh, that
Restaurant.
was when I went to Los Animas. You had to feed me.
No,
I wasn't going for cheap.
do what I would do, I paid it myself. No, that's fine, okay, I just didn't.
That's what that was.
Okay. And then the other one was.
And I didn't even go to a steak place. I went to Chili and Frijoles.
Which is just that good.
Question?
He wanted to know the restaurant.
I was wondering what Carmen's Restaurant was about.
And I said it was for my food when I went to get those checks signed.
The sheriff's department supposed to be here today?
Anything else?
I'm not sure we have to approve the bills as is.
We got two.
Hold on.
Wait. Vanessa Borrego.
Those are, when you see those are refunds
I
when,
don't know what, she didn't even live in town, so what is she getting a refund for?
the center,
Oh,
when they rent them.
why don't, the community center, CC, all right, gotcha. Thank you.
Hopefully, when, you know, they get that new program and everything's set up and trained, hopefully that will be a part where, you know, it's gonna be able to tell you what it's for and stuff. Yeah, but normally when you see like those, that's what they're for.
Can't you just put like maybe, CP refund, the first initial, last name?
I did put that CC refund next to it.
No, but I mean like, when you.
Well, on this, it won't do that. When I do the actual checks, it does on the check stub have what it's for, it writes it all out, but this is just like a check register, so it doesn't show like the specifics.
Okay.
Which is why I'm handwriting for any ones that I kind of think might be a questionable transaction. And I don't think, Sarah, that there's probably anything that would be more detailed, right, on, that we could print. I mean, we'll check when we do the training if there's something that would show the details, but
That could be a question you can ask,
Yeah.
you know, how you can change it.
Just do it.
Okay, no worries.
Probably from.
You need their address? Are you taking the check or what?
No word.
No, we do not need that. We need it now.
There's actually a state statute that says that you can't see the customer's billing information, address, that kind of thing. So even if people Cora request it, we can't give it to them.
Any other questions, sir?
You okay, Mr.
We
Rivera?
have to go to the legislature.
No, my
Mr.
blood
Romero.
pressure is kind of high, so I'm gonna re-up.
Can I motion now to accept the bills as is? Can I get a second?
Second,
Roll call.
Mayor Pro Tem,
yes.
Mr. Bras,
Yes.
Ms. Gilman,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Romero,
Yes.
Mr. Trillo.
Yes.
Okay, our annular days bathrooms, the board previously had approved to the use of the restrooms. And last year, to get them even up and running, it cost the town $6,800. And I don't believe that those restrooms, they can use, get porta pots. Right now, they're not operable. I don't know what's going on. There's something to do with the water. So he'll call whoever it was that helped. But I don't think the town has money to be doing those repairs.
Why are we getting so many leaks? Are the,
It's not a leak. It's just, I don't know. They supposedly winterized it and turned it off. So I don't know, Mr. Frank.
repair breaks in, copper pipe?
Well, that was last year, right?
That was for last
That
year.
was last year.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just showing you what it cost us last year to repair it. And I just think that having those bathrooms open for regular days is hard because then, it's the town that has to take on the repairs.
I've been in the bathrooms and that, this and that, for outdoor day and that, but I think the town could do better than what we have,
Well, we did, when we had regular days, we always have porta pots everywhere.
They have them all over.
We
not
did,
just in
we
one
had
certain
porta
area.
pots in, as a matter of fact, those bathrooms were not operable. So we didn't even use them, but we had porta pots.
yeah, I don't think we spend too much money on that. I'd rather see it replaced, if we're gonna do it, something better. It's kind of low and everything, it's
No, I'm just kidding about
not very nice.
Well, I think that's something that we could look into with lottery funds.
Yeah.
Once we get them, we have 5 years worth of lottery that's parked in the state's office because we have to get the reports finished.
And even the location where it's at, where the bathroom, everybody knows you're going to the bathroom, that, it's put it to the side someplace, and, change it, but like you say, the laundry, this and that, maybe looking to getting a different bathroom.
Well, I just think that they should provide their own porta pots.
what would it cost to have somebody like janitorial for the day or for the restrooms?
I have no idea, but we already offer richer services for the trash removal. And I think that any expenses incurred by Angler, they should be paid by them, not the town of Angler. Same thing like I know Levina charges for the electricity and everything else.
So couldn't we just charge the vendors for a percentage to hire somebody?
We don't do any of that. That doesn't have
Yeah,
anything
that's
to
not
do with
our
the
deal.
town of Angler. That isn't one of our events.
With the porta potties?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, our porta potties were all donated when we used to have annular days. We never paid for them. Rivera's was really good with this, or Little Stinker or whatever. They used to donate the porta pots to the town of Angular for annular days, and they were good.
burrito supermarket.
So with that, do.
Sorry.
Okay, so we're done with the restrooms.
Well, are they operational now?
Now, there, for some reason, there's no water in the, coming through the lines, so I don't know what happened. So the guy that helped them do it, I guess the girls can, or Rich can reach it, I'll have one of the girls reach out to.
We've
him and
we've
see.
reached out, but nobody's responding. We've asked Derek. We thought maybe there's a valve somewhere we don't know about, but Derek said that if the main meter's on, water should be going. So Rich tried to open them the week after Memorial Day, and there was water then when he turned it on, but then when he went to go make sure everything was working a few days later, there's no water coming through. So I don't know what the issue is.
Just dumping it.
Yes, well, we don't have to pay it, so we're good. Well, I didn't shut off the park water yet, no. Left it for the grass. No. But yeah, so I mean, if we need to have them up and running by Aguilar days, then we need to have somebody come out and see what's going on to repair them. So I think that's kind of what the question is, are we gonna have them open, or are we gonna tell Friends of Aguilar that they can't use them? And I do know that they wanted Rich to man them for Aguilar days because last year people were in there starting toilet paper on fire and clogging the toilets, so
Are they going to pay Rich for the $40?
no, they wanted the town to pay them.
Oh, no.
And I think we kind of clarified that with the lady that if Rich wanted to volunteer, that was fine, but,
He said no,
right.
he's already gonna do the trash removal for him. And then he was also gonna section off this, close the streets, whatever needed to be done. And then they told him, no, it's like county or state are doing them.
Yeah,
So he's gonna be just doing the trash throughout the day. So I think they should make arrangements to get porta pots.
They do have it. They do have it working.
We need to notify her that that's what she's gonna have to do.
yeah, because I think she's got only 4 porta pots settled, so if the bathrooms won't be open, then we need to give her a chance to get some more out here if we're not gonna get them fixed in time.
And just explain to her that we've got a problem, we don't have water for them, so.
And like I said, they winterized it, but I have no clue what happened.
And
And he
I
turned
want
it
to,
off.
I want to believe there should be under a warranty, so we'll keep trying to get them out here to see what the deal is, and hopefully it'll be covered on the work they did, because it was only in October that we paid them that they did all this, so,
Well, it was only in October, we had a little bit of money to pay him.
yeah.
If there's no more questions on the restrooms, we will go to utility tap rate.
So I know we've already discussed this, and the board kind of voted on, let's raise the inside to 5, leave outside at 6 for water and sewer taps, and then make the customer responsible for the labor, material, fuel, rental of the equipment. But I'm looking at, people are gonna be paying of $10,000-12,000 for a water tap or a sewer tap, if these are the rates we're gonna go with, which I don't know if that sounds reasonable. I think that, and I'm just wanted to bring it up just because I need to have the lawyer draw up a new ordinance. But Mayor had brought up raising everything to 5,000 and doing a 2,000 connection fee, which would be 7,000. I feel that that's more reasonable than basing it per each customer, that they have to pay different amounts. So, I mean, I've looked at other communities and everybody has a set fee. It's not like varying depending on how far away your tap's gonna be or how far the main line is. And I get some of the jobs we might lose a little bit, but then we'd make up on other taps that are closer where it doesn't cost the town so much. So I thought it would be more reasonable to do like a $5,000 water tap fee, sewer tap fee, and then a $2,000 connection fee. So in total, the customer pays $7,000. Some of these people are going to be paying $10, $12, $13,000 for water taps. If we go with charging them the $10 a linear foot for the pipe, we charge them the guy's hourly wages. Sorry.
Go ahead.
So, and I think it makes more sense to have a flat fee for everybody instead of it kind of varying all over the board based on how far you are away from the main. So just wanting a kind of a final answer.
Are we good with 5 and 2? 5,000 for
That
the
makes a lot
tap
of
fee
sense,
and 2,000 for connection, instead of fluctuating, 5, 10, 7, 12. We just go with a flat 7,000, which is 5 and 2.
As long as you're covered with reach, that's the thing you guys are.
Pretty much, because we played with it several times to see what would be feasible for the rates, and that was our best to come up with was the 5 and 2.
And I think it varies so much. I've had just recently with sewer and water taps, some people are 6 feet. I have another customer that's 220 feet. So the customer with 220 feet, they're paying almost $7,000 for a water tap in the city limits. So it's basically the same. Based on the other customer, he paid $3,000, So I mean, I think a flat fee will balance out. And the parts at the most, no matter if it's water or sewer, are $3,000. So I mean, if we do a 7,000 total, it covers all the expenses. And I mean, the town also is not making a big profit, but I mean, putting something away towards the water tap stuff. And I think it's reasonable to do the 5,000 in city limits and 2,000 connection fee and stay at the 6,000 out of city limits and 2,000 connection fee, unless you just want to make it one for no matter where they're, I think we should stay with the
Stay
6,000,
with what you have for outside limits and
just the
then
connection fee
whatever
is
the
the
board
same.
approves for inside the town for water tap fees.
I make a motion that we charge 5,000 for water tap, $2,000 maintenance, it's not maintenance fee, but
Action.
yeah, so
Can I get a second?
Second.
You want, and then the outside is.
in the outside of city limits, 6,000.
To remain the same?
6,000 and then 2,000,
And
right?
2,000.
Roll call. Gerald.
Real quick, we also have to look at the gas taps. Can we all do it all in one motion?
Oh, okay, sorry.
So then I think what would be reasonable, I believe we had voted for 2,000 inside city limits, 3,000 outside, which I believe that's still reasonable, and then 1,000 connection fee for any pipes. The pipes, I mean, the parts I believe are like $1,000. So it would be a total of 3,000 in city limits for gas, 4,000 outside. And I don't know why gas is cheaper, everything other than the gas rates, but.
Sorry, what did you say for the tap fee? How much?
2,000 in city, 3,000 outside, and then $1,000 connect fee if the board thinks that's reasonable. And I mean, right now, we don't charge any kind of gas tap fee at all.
To install gas meters. So that's why we went with the fees of, is it 2,000?
Yes, 2,000 in city, 3,000 outside, and then $1,000 per.
Currently, there is no charge for those.
But then the water and the sewer tap are gonna be the same, 5,000 in and 6,000 out,
Yes.
plus the,
That's the connect.
so are we gonna do? You can say that all over again, Mr. Bruce.
And pro gas.
Your motion.
Okay, make a motion for the water tap. 5,000 in town, 2,000 connect fee. For out of town, 6,000 and 2,000 for connect fee.
And gas.
I do not have the gas.
2,000 for the tap, for the gas, and 1,000 for the connect fee. In
Inside.
town. 3,000 for out of town, 1,000 connect fee. Thank you very much.
Okay, second.
I second. And I
Cheryl
still
already
second
said
it.
Cheryl seconded.
Roll call.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
Mr. Bras,
Yes.
Ms. Gilman,
Yes.
Mr. Romero,
Yes.
Mr. Treehill.
Yes. I did all for the last one from the people in town.
That's okay, better you than me.
Okay, so our next one is bids for light poles. We're not replacing the light poles, just the guts inside is what we're replacing. You'll find two bids in front of you, but before you decide what you're doing, Ken reached out to San Isabel. They actually thought they had put these poles in, but they didn't. That was a part of the renovation or something.
Revitalizing Main Street.
Yeah, revitalizing the Main Street part, but San Isabel may, I'm still waiting to hear, do this for us. And add lights to it, you know, around the poles. But I'm still waiting to see, but in the meantime, you can decide, look at the two bids that we got to replace the, existing, watt lamps, the ballast from 23 light poles with new 4,000 LED lamps, photo cells.
Why is one 23 poles, the other one 24?
I thought it was 24, okay? No, it says 24, 400 watt, and you're right, the other one says 23 light poles, I don't know.
Because one is here.
Yeah.
Here it says description 24, 400 watt, and the other one says
23.
No, but this is one is here.
oh, yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you what the big difference is in the prices, okay?
Yeah, it says one.
There's, in that price variance, the, one of them is not charging labor.
Labor?
What did you say?
How many people does it take to screw the light bulb?
Oops. So, that's something to take.
Okay, so if San Isabel does it, what are we looking at with San Isabel?
I don't know, it could be for more or less, a donation. That's why I was waiting to see, but you can still vote on, or, you know, pick one of these. And if that's not the case, then we already have one set to go and we could move forward with it whenever we're,
I would say go with affordable.
these two. Carol,
I'm sorry.
those two. Affordable. They might be. Here,
This one here, affordable, he has 24 400-watt lamps, 23 photo cells. I want to change one of them or what?
no,
One is going to
it
be
says two
spare.
spares. I see it now. Did you see that? I hadn't
Yes,
noticed that
that's
till
spare.
now. Two
Because
spares
one step.
or one spare.
One there.
Spare, yeah, but spares.
Or two spares.
No, one
One,
spare. That's a
Oh,
one.
one.
Was that a one?
Yeah, I had to go back and look
I see
too.
that little
So
dot.
there's your answer.
Yeah, one spare, yeah, that's what.
And that one that you just mentioned, that one is, this is the price for the material. There is no labor. The labor will be donated to the town of Bay York.
we really have to do this, huh?
The lights are bad, sir.
Then if they aren't at all.
Yeah,
during
we're
the day,
paying
they're on.
almost $500 a month for the streetlights.
I thought
How
Mario
much
was-
will it be?
That's who that is.
It's been about 500-600 on the main, and as far as I've been here and done that, the bills for 3 years, it's always been
Yeah,
that
that's
high.
who's donating.
But I think it's because they're
It's labor.
running at all the wrong times. They don't go on at night, but they're on during.
They're
the day.
yellow, they're white, they're orange, and then some are even blue. And then some don't, I mean, they run 24/7.
And that's just 500 for the main street lights. I mean, for all, we have to pay for all the other lights around town. And I think that just the light bill on its own is close to $1,000. So these ones, I would guess it's kind of a solar thing. Is that what these are?
No, they're just a different lighting,
Light
but
bulb.
they'll be on a photo cell, so they'll be, on a timer, so they're gonna, when it gets light, it goes up. When it gets dark, it'll come on. So, what do you all think?
I think you're gonna save a lot in the energy, that.
We are.
And this money would come out of the HUFT fund, right, Sarah?
Yes.
Or the lottery, which we will be getting 5 years worth of lottery funds as soon as Sarah gets all those reports done. Not sure on what the amount will be, but there is 5 years worth of money we hadn't gotten.
And do we get a warranty?
I'm sure.
We know where it is. We know where it is.
Right.
I mean, that is something we can make sure is included as some sort of warranty.
So,
Good, but no one backed me up.
I second.
okay, so I've got a motion to approve who?
Affordable HVAC.
Second, Mr. Trujillo. Roll call.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
Mr. Bras.
Yes.
Ms. Galvin,
Yes.
Mr. Romero,
We are going to have funds to do this, right?
Yes, before we do anything, we will make sure and check what our funds available in those
We're not
accounts
doing
are for.
anything without funds.
Well, that's me.
I promise you, Mijito.
So I go yes.
Mr. Trill,
Yes.
And we'll wait to hear from San Isabel though, if they're gonna do it for free before
Yeah,
we go
if they'll
forward.
do it, then, we'll go with that. Okay, so, next you have, asking the town for permission that we check and we can have Derek OQ, even if he's part-time. And there's his, we have the attorney pull this up and the agreement between the town of Aguilar and Derek.
And I just have, one little monkey wrench got thrown in this yesterday morning or yesterday afternoon. So Derek is kind of, has a few issues with the contract. Where it says at the beginning that he would have to immediately repay the money back for whatever if the town's paying for him to get OQ'd. He'd like at least 30 days repayment instead of it being immediate. And then he also would like a total number of what it's gonna cost, what he would have to repay. So I mean, I've got to look into that part because all I know right now is 212.75 would be for the Energy World Net for him to get a license to do the online training. But I don't know what Trinidad is gonna be charging us for
Oh, to get him OQ.
to do the evaluations and the field training.
And
So
that one shouldn't be hard because he was OQ'd before. That should be easier. Yeah. but
and I
it is-
think he will get OQ'd quicker than Rich because Derek did it before. It's just a matter of going through the process. They also said with Derek's job experience, that can go towards getting rid of some of the training, I think, because he can use his work experience. And I mean, with the gas situation we had the other day, we need somebody here, and I get he's gone, but I mean, he showed up and had to wait for other people to get here that were OQ'd and had to stand on the scene, so if he was OQ'd, he could have done it and gotten things taken care of quicker. So,
So can we make an amendment to this, the wording?
yeah, so my biggest holdup is I've got to get a hold of Trinidad and kind of get a ballpark of how much it's gonna cost to get them OQ'd. And like I said, Derek didn't let me know till last night. I put a call in, but I haven't heard back. So as soon as we get a number, we can have the attorney revise this. So I just kind of want to okay before I bother Trinidad for numbers and, I haven't purchased anything, but if I can get an okay and get the contract
Move
revised,
forward
yeah.
with him being OQ.
I would say yes. Sentence number 3.
Huh?
Number 3. Sentence. In consideration of the bonus provided to
So
This is,
I think
this is the same contract that
Rich
Rich is
side. So the bonus being provided to him is the town paying for him to get his OQ certification, because if he left here, he can take that with him as long as he keeps it up and go somewhere else and get a job. And
So it's the same one that Rich is on. And I don't think it's gonna cost us much, right?
no, Richard's was roughly $1,000 for the program, but because I'm just adding on another license, Derek's part for the program is $213. The number I don't know is what Trinidad's charging for their services, because they're gonna have to go there and be evaluated and get any field training like Rich, especially since this is new to him. They came out the other day and Rich went with them and they, had him change out regulators and meters. But they're gonna charge us for that service to come out, so I need to get kind of a ballpark number of what it's gonna cost to get them separately because Derek wants a set number. He doesn't want to sign it and we send him a bill for $1 million at some point, so. Which is understandable. I mean, I guess kind of open-ended, we could.
So would it be feasible to get Rich certified instead?
Well, Rich is working on it, but my suggestion was to have the both of them OQ in gas. I think it would be. It would be in the best interest of the community to have them both.
And how,
You
as
never
it's,
know when this is gonna happen again.
well, and as it stands now, I mean, if Derek, I mean, Rich is OQ'd, he can't send Derek to go do anything because he has to be there physically watching Derek. So I didn't really realize that. I figured it's like water. He could work under his authority, but no, if we sent Derek to do something, Rich would have to stand there and watch him or, do it instead because you have to be OQ'd to touch the meter. So
So that would be like sending 2 people to do 1 person.
exactly, right.
I would say just get the numbers that you need and then do the amendment. And then just
Okay, and then we
see if
can,
he can- then see if he's happy with it, then sign it.
So a motion to approve.
I motion to approve.
Derek,
Sorry.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
Mr. Barajas,
Yes.
Ms. Gilman,
Yes.
Mr. Romero,
Yes.
Mr. Trejo.
Yes.
okay, SGM contract, I'm gonna do that
Oh,
really
wait, I
quick.
have a question.
Oh,
So do I.
No, that's it. It's too bad. It's too
Oh,
bad.
wait, it doesn't pertain to approving anything, it's just.
If it's not
Stephanie,
on the
where
agenda,
are
we're
we,
not-
where are we at with these gas meters? Remember we had talked about getting something?
yes, so Trinidad, basically, they get their gas meters, they don't buy in bulk, so we can't really buy any from them. Right now, I haven't ordered the ones you've approved. I think you've had approved 5 of them. I haven't ordered them because right now, nobody's been able to come out and replace the ones, so I still have 5 on hand. So I'm just waiting until I use those before I order 5, and I'll have 10 out there that I can't put in anyway. So I haven't purchased anything, and I guess before I do that, I'll just come bring it before the board again if I could get. I thought Trinidad would come and do it, but they're preferring to get Rich OQ'd and then have him do it on his own instead of them coming out and doing it. So Rich did get the field training. He passed all the online. Right now, I just am, thank you for bringing this up because I forgot my quote for Energy WorldNet is for 2 licenses. One is for Derek, and then I have to buy another one for Trinidad's gas supervisor to get onto our module and do the evaluations. I asked them if they can do our paper evaluations in our O&M manual, and I'm kind of waiting on an answer from him. So I might need to buy a total of like $450 worth of licenses for the OQ. So Rich hasn't been evaluated, like given the paper test, because they're deciding if they're gonna have to use Energy WorldNet or if they can use our OQ manual. So can I get approval for a key also for gas supervisor in Trinidad?
I'm looking.
And that's kind of, the gas meters, they haven't been changed out yet because Trinidad prefers to get Rich OQ'd and then have him do the work here instead of them coming and changing them like Walsenburg did. And Walsenburg's not answering, so I believe they're shorthanded and really don't have the manpower to come do our stuff here,
they
so.
agreed to supervise him and do whatever it takes to get him, and that came from the city manager and.
And apparently, once he gets evaluated and passes the training, he can get OQ for things at different times. So even though he can't go change out a valve or install a valve, he'd be able to change out the meters. So
I make a motion for the purchase for the license required for gas?
yep, yes. Supervisor in Trinidad.
Yes.
Sorry, I forgot about that.
Frank
Spending all
second,
kinds of money.
roll call.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Freezing
Mr.
everybody
Barajas?
else's
Yes.
money.
Ms. Gilman,
Yeah.
Mr. Romero,
Yes, yes.
Mr. Trimmer? Yes.
Okay, now that we got those yeses out of the way, let's go to SGM
Wait a
contract.
minute, can I ask something?
Sure.
Exactly does Mr. Coca have? What does he have? Just water? Doesn't have gas?
He has water and wastewater. It's, yeah.
That's his. Okay. All right, thanks.
Okay, so under SGM contract, so per division requirement by the Division of Water Resources, they have been doing our professional water accounting for us, for the hog pond, the irrigation ditch, right?
Yes.
And so they have asked that the town acquire the professional services of SGM to take over the water accounting. And with that, there comes the little price of a retainer fee of $2,250. And the project will cost the town of Aguilar for the water accounting that's required by Division of Water Resources, $15,000 a year. So what I'm asking the board is their approval so that we can get this
They want us to pay $15,000 yearly.
right now. The state's doing our water accounting, but they're not going to be doing it anymore
But what are we gonna pay? Why?
because they have to keep record of our water.
So, yeah, so basically, whatever water goes through the Og Pond, we have to pay back credits for what we're pumping out of the wells. So somebody's got to keep track of these numbers and what goes through, what we owe the state. I mean, we're not qualified to do that, and they suggested we had an outside source do it. So basically, SGM has been doing it, but then when everything happened and they quit there for a while, the state took it over. But the state's not willing to continue doing it, and especially once the Og Pond is done, the state won't do it. They're going to be done with dealing with the Og Pond project. So I believe they're going to go ahead and continue pay SGM until the Og Pond is completed for doing the water rights accounting. But then once the Og Pond is done, the town is going to have to forever pay for water rights accounting for the Og Pond. And it's basically just to keep track of what we're using out of the wells, what we're repaying from the Og Pond through the Gonzalez ditch,
They'll
that whole
be doing
thing.
the bookkeeping on it.
Yeah.
So if we have so much problems with them in the past, how do we know if they're gonna be?
SGM, because they'll be under contract. I know, they were under contract before, but this is a totally different,
And then will that be audited by the state?
they pretty much have been keeping tabs on, the water that's owed, where it's divided, where it should go. They've been on top of it.
I believe the Division II Water Court,
Yeah.
even when we're out of, I mean, there's always gonna be that decree, so I think it will, yeah, it'll always be monitored by the Division II Water Court, just to make sure everybody's not using more than they're allowed every year, and if any problems come up. So I believe it will be monitored by the Division II ongoing forever.
Currently, we're checking to see if we can get USDA to pay for that retainer as the first payment to get it started. So that buys us some extra time, to, but it wouldn't be, I don't believe it would be a payment that we would make every year, a balloon payment. I think we could do it in installments.
So is it going to be just 15 or Is it going to be 17?
No, 15. That's just a retainer fee. If the town chooses to go with SDM or to approve this agreement for their professional services to do the water rights accounting, then it's 2,250. That's a one-time fee.
And it's just a percentage of the 15,000, so we're gonna pay 2,250 up front, and then, like the mayor said, we'll probably can make out, we're gonna have a monthly payment due, or we're gonna pay it quarterly, some kind of arrangement. And then I believe every year the board will get a chance to look at the contract and renew it, and going forward, I mean, you could always go with somebody else, but I think right now, being that they've been involved in the project for so long, it's kind of, in everybody's benefit just to have them do it so we can get this pond project completed and out of our hands.
What kind of benefits does the town get out of being a member of the Gonzales Ditch Company?
That is, oh my God, you can't say that. That's where the town water comes, and so we pretty much, like now, we don't use it as much during the seasonal period because it's used for irrigation, and then come, is it the end of September, sir? That they quit irrigation?
It's October.
Or September or October, and that gives the town the time to start replenishing the water into the augmentation fund to pay what we're going to use throughout the winter. So it's kind of like shared rights, because the town has 34, I believe, 34 shares, water shares.
So that's counting them. So technically, they're giving us 29 shares now, but we have those 5 extra that,
We still pay on them.
yeah.
We're paying, to the ditch company.
And
We paid,
and if we could get that straightened out, instead of having 29 hours of water every year, we would have the 34
yeah,
for our rotation, but I'm kind of at a wall with that because
but we, it's been paid for those shares.
yeah.
We just did now in May, I think it was.
Those 5 shares.
We are, because the town did pay a lump sum of money for them, so the water attorney did say to continue paying for them, and basically he needs information for the estate of whoever was, and I mean, if anybody could provide that to me, then I could pass that on to him, and then he said he would be able to look at public records, but, so he has advised just to keep paying them.
What does he need?
The estate information for the original owner of the shares, which I think was Anastasio. Yeah, and I mean, I would assume probably birthday, social security, anything he can look up public records for, just his name. So when I see you next week, I'll get that from you, Mr. Romero, because if we could get that, then he said he could probably look through public records.
One from Anastasio to his oldest son Raymond, who died also, he gave it to his son Richard.
Well, and see, that's the problem. It was never correctly transferred, yeah. But,
I'll see
so,
what I can do.
okay.
Yeah, the contract.
So this, to clarify,
Right.
who is doing this job now?
The state took over when everything went into chaos. The state took over and has been doing the accounting, but they're not going to do it any longer. And that's why we're having to go back to contract them, because originally they were doing it. So I just need an approval so that we can, I can submit this to them and let them know that it was approved by the board. It can be submitted for payment. Our first one anyway, our first year, hopefully.
I don't agree with the direct extension number 3. I mean, they're not like that far away that they want us to pay for their meals and lodging.
They're in Glenwood Springs.
Well, it's still not that far away.
Could you go over there tomorrow and
Sure, I found my lunch at Denver and everything in one day. Come back.
I could now? Think this is included, right, in their whole thing?
Well, it says. If it's included, great.
See, right there where it says the county of Baylor is required to submit monthly water rights accounting records for its augmentation plan, case number 05CW 103, which covers the municipal water supply for the town. That would be on March 20th, 2025, under background.
And I want to just off of past experience with them here before when the OGPOD started, I want to agree with Monica that if for some reason they had to come out here and stay, we would probably, that is extra stuff. Sorry, I didn't read the entire contract. But I think these might be extra costs on top.
Well, I guess if the board could approve it, and then I can send a notice to Bailey Bailey, and then ask her those questions.
Didn't we go through something like this before where somebody was staying here, supposedly staying in Cary B&B, and then they were charging us for all this stuff that wasn't even, was it the same company?
Yeah, it was I guess the project manager for SGM that was out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you look at the contract covers those. That's the part that nobody looked at, because then we had to go back. I had to finally, I even remember who gave us an actual contract, and then we took it apart and we went through a lot of that stuff and on what was legal, we sent to. So Adam has, done a lot for us with the
I mean, that was just my thing, is that I understand there's some things that, you do have to.
well, I can tell you, we have an eagle eye now, eagle eyes now that, they watch and we ask questions, and I'm not shy to ask any questions.
Well, if that's all included in this, then I would say yes. If not, I mean, it just seems like a lot of different.
Well, if it's not, then it'll go back to the special meeting is what we'll do. And then I'll, if it's not, I'll shoot everybody an email and let you know when I hear back, or I'll, because here's their fee schedule and everything's on here. So I was under the assumption that all this is covered for their services.
It's just itemized more or less for us.
Well, and I'm looking at, I think that these would be extra charges because reimbursables, their equipment, vehicle mileage, direct expenses, including FedEx, lodging, meals. So I think if for some reason they had to come out here due to water rights accounting issues, the town would be responsible for what they paid for lodging or meals. But I think that also the likelihood of them having to come out here because they're doing our water rights accounting would be very slim unless there was some major, problem.
So. And we get a motion on this contract? And then I will have the rest of the information and I'll email it to you. I need to get it approved. I have a first and a second, Gerald and Frank.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
Mr. Barajas,
Yes.
Ms. Galvin,
Yes.
Mr. Romero,
Yes.
Mr. Trujillo.
Yes, me.
Yes.
Okay. Gee, bids for sure, you didn't get any. Bids for, so that one, do you want them to put it out?
I think
Yes.
at this point, since we advertised, we got no bids, I think it would be safe to contact people, and I'm wondering, should we get a hold of, Mr. Chuck Tar here and see if he'd be interested? I mean, I don't
Can you,
know.
oh, the electrical?
Mhm.
And he's licensed, right?
He is licensed, he's insured, he did get a business license. He may not have seen the ad, I think we mentioned it to him. But since we put it out for bids and nobody's responded, I think we can just start contacting people and seeing if they'll come, give us a
I would
bid.
say ask him and see what he would charge.
Chuck Tar.
Oh.
He's licensed and bonded. And he has a business license with the town also.
We get a hold of
And
him.
that's for all the electrical down there, or
And
just for the?
I don't know, whatever
It'd
Mr.
be
Romero
nice
is.
to have that timer going again too.
That's what we're after, the time. Time is what we're after.
So what we're
Well, I
looking,
thought that was solar panel to install.
so I think the only thing we really can do with the electrical there is get plugged right in so that this thing can be plugged in when it won't work solarly. I think everything else down there, those motors, none of that's operational, so there's no need in
None of that
fixing.
is any good.
Yeah, so
All we need is that 110
to
to
get,
go out to the solar beam.
okay. Just so we're clear.
But all the boards, the switches are full. You don't know who.
Well, and I don't even think whatever those ran work are still in the pond for all we know, because that would have ran a flow system inside the ponds, and that I think was done away with for the whole aeration sitting on top of the solar bee.
So
So,
what is he gonna do? Just put the 110 in there?
yes, to run the solar bee, so I wasn't quite sure, but that's all I put in the ad.
I'd like to look into that timer too.
Well,
That way-
yeah, the timers, but
And put
No,
a
once you
timer
get
to turn this off and on.
Yeah,
yeah, once
like
we
when
get
there's no sun.
the electricity, we have to get that timer going.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if it's obsolete or what. But looks like they just cut the wires. Just- Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe he can give us more information on it.
Okay, so a plug to run that, and then also to set it on a timer so it would keep going at certain times during the day.
Now, whenever he goes down, have him contact Romero and me or, Mr. Trujillo, Mr. Trujillo and me, and
Okay,
go down there and look at it with him. That would be,
okay,
we could report to the council.
okay. Will do. I'll try to get a hold of him this weekend and then see if we can set something up for next week.
Sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Utility worker.
Whatever happened.
We only had one application
County
and
road
he's not
bill.
here.
How about H?
Oh, sorry, the bids, you have those, and you only have one in front of you, so,
Making airplane with the,
to do the bid from, the box on Aspen and Burke, the county road, all the way up to Baker's, to replace that line? That's
What
corroded?
size line?
So
That
right
2-inch
now,
Line we talked about,
we haven't looked at any of that. I just put an ad out to get somebody to dig from Aspen and Fir out to Bagley's. And just to dig it is what this company sent a bid for, which is totally outrageous.
Did you see the bid?
yeah, 81,000.
And that's just to dig the trench. That's not to put the pipe or
And that's,
anything.
they're just gonna come and dig. They're gonna bring their equipment
So,
from Pueblo and
yeah, so I talked to a gentleman from Corin, Maine. He's where we get all of our water parts. He knows a few contractors that he works with, and one of them's gonna be in Walsenburg next month. So he told the guy is gonna, he sent all the information and is gonna get back with us with the bid within the next week or two. So I guess we'll keep looking because, I mean, this is craziness. And I think Monica said that she was gonna talk to
Yeah, I have
somebody
somebody
she
on
knew.
the phone.
But
So should we just table this? So,
What I can't get is why is the city going out with the towns? It's just-
it's our line. It's our water line.
and so I mean, I don't know for sure, but apparently at some point the town board, whatever, I don't know when it was, but the town board sold a water tap to people out there. So we
I
service the
know they had a
line.
shut off right there at
Yeah,
Aspen that
Fox.
went out.
Yeah,
I thought they had a meter there. Or hold it.
Rich couldn't dig that?
Going out.
No,
so Derek would be the one to dig it, and I've tried to get Derek, but there's so much fiber optic going out there. He said he
He doesn't want to
he
mess
doesn't
with
want to mess with it. And then not only that, he works full time during the week. So he could only do it on the weekends if he was willing. And I mean, it's such a far stretch. I think a quarter of a mile is what I Google mapped it.
Yeah.
We couldn't leave the trench open indefinitely for them to work on it every weekend, which was what I was hoping. But Derek isn't willing to take that on. He said it's probably 40 to 50 hours worth of work just digging it. So I'm kind of at a loss, honestly, with trying to find somebody. I mean,
You know, there's a guy, I think his last name is White. This,
right there.
in that general area. He's got a trencher,
He does.
big one.
Would he be interested in
Well, I
trying to?
don't know what that person, but I know that he's got a trencher.
You know, he's talking about Stan.
yeah, but and this is my only problem because people keep saying, well, this guy, ask him, this guy will do it.
But
But
if he
they-
has,
they have to have liability insurance. So they have to be, if they're a contractor, they have to have liability insurance because if the town hires them to go out there and dig and they damage the fiber optic or they damage a passing car, anything, I mean, the town will be liable if they don't have liability insurance. And the town's insurance won't cover them being that they're not an employee of the town. I guess I better maybe for sure check with Sursa. If we hired I don't know. Because we even thought maybe Monica's husband, he does a lot of work, you know, and I don't know if he does that, but he knows people. But we're pretty sure that they have to have liability insurance, but I guess that's something I could check with Sursa.
the one that does our, well, did our snow removal, I understand he does it also, so.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oscar, I heard he has a machine too, but you know, like I said, I can't say for certain, so I don't know.
Well, and he
I'll tell you
actually
what, that's
used
my
his own
problem.
machine. Maybe he does have liability
That's a
insurance
serious situation. right
when he
there.
was plowing. I don't
You dig into
know.
that fiber
What?
optics.
That Oscar, yeah.
If what?
Oh, did he use ours? I thought he
They
had
said
his
he
own.
is,
Yes, but when he was doing streets, president.
And I mean, the town did
Well,
hire
I
him
guess
to
you-
do the roads, but I don't know if anybody thought about the liability part, so. I mean, I guess that's something to check with Sursa. If we hire somebody to go out there, would they be covered by our liability insurance if they don't have their own?
that's kind of comes under the one where to hire or to bring in that crew to do the weeds and all that, from the prison. There is a clause there, because remember Tyra showed it to you and I thought in the office, for the workers. And there's a form that is sent into CERSA, and then it covers those.
Sarah, if you'll make a note and for Monday, check with CERSA on that. I mean, it's worth looking into because at this point, I mean,
Yeah, it's kind of hard to, and Gerald just said that, working around fiber optic, it's pretty,
I mean, if you happen to bite into that fiber optic line,
yeah.
I mean, it is expensive.
Well, see, that's what Derek said. He said that they knew this line needed to be replaced for years, but him and Virgil kept avoiding it because they didn't want to deal with the fiber optics.
I
So,
wonder if someone that has experience with that stuff, if there's a way of knowing if there's fiber optics there. I mean, I don't know how you go
Maybe they
about
have a
finding that out.
they gave a machine.
well, I think they'll come out and locate it. So the operator
locate
would,
it?
yeah, I'm pretty sure they'll locate it, but the operator just has to be careful
But
not
isn't
to.
the optic in a tube?
No.
But
No, it isn't too like.
they are, right?
Yeah,
They're
they
like,
do run it
all the
through a-
fiber is inside,
You're right.
like it's the
Yeah.
guts. It's not like it's all,
Oh,
still.
no, it's in it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, so it's in a tube. and
Yeah.
So if you took this here, and then it's in here.
Right.
So this is your fiber optic there, I mean, the cover.
You do that so well.
What? But I'm saying, oh my God, you just did not do that, Mr. Rubin.
Oh, you did that, I didn't.
I was showing you this. It's time for you to go home.
I know.
Oh my God, look at Sarah.
Come on, let's hurry up.
She's a color.
You made Sarah's face get red, huh?
Now you're making my face.
Yeah, man, remember that sitting there for a minute?
We're not done yet.
So table, I guess.
Yeah.
I did a miracle.
Cool.
And I'll ask.
Okay, and in the meantime, we'll check with CERSA because maybe I'm wrong. So
Yeah,
maybe
because,
we
well,
can just,
it's a possibility that maybe if we do go that route, that they would be covered. And then we could get somebody to dig.
right, right.
I'll ask this weekend and I'll let you know for sure.
Okay, thank you.
You know, if they would locate the fiber optics and someone with a trencher, I mean, you just.
That's what I'm saying. So if we can check with CERSA and see if we can, get that liability, or if he has the liability himself and he wants to trench it,
Right.
Yeah.
Sarsa might say, you're on your own. No, I'm just saying.
They, what, they've been really good with this.
Oh, I know that. I'm just saying, yeah.
But no,
Okay. let's
So-
move on.
on
What do you
the
need here?
dig, we're gonna go ahead and table that, or we're going to check with CERSA?
Let's table it while we check with CERSA and try to come up with more bids that are
There you go.
affordable.
Gerald, did you find anything out about water mill from the dump?
Not yet. My computer's out there, but
I just had to ask.
We get a motion to table.
I make a
item eight.
motion, we table the dig.
I second it.
Roll call.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
Mr. Rojas,
Yes.
Ms. Galvin,
Yes.
Mr. Romero,
The only question I have is till when?
You know what, probably this, our next work session and special meeting. 2 weeks.
Yes.
Mr. Triano.
Yes, accepting you, yes.
Utility worker?
There's no one here, so do we put bid it out again, or I mean, the ad?
Were they notified? They were.
Sorry. We'll just put it out again.
And maybe we should do interviews like in an executive session.
Yeah, I don't think that we should carry on the public interviewing. I think that it should be done in executive session. So,
Why can't we call this person and ask him if he's willing to, if he's interested in willing to do an interview, not in public? Maybe that was part of it, like.
you didn't hear from him at all?
And consider this. Because I told him and let him know what time he's supposed to be here.
Oh, Marcus is going.
Okay, who's that, Sarah?
Exactly.
Zachary.
Yeah, I did speak to him, so.
Isn't he getting married?
No.
No, that's not true.
Oh, sorry.
And I'm gonna assume if he didn't show up, he may not be interested, but I don't know. And he's the only applicant we've had, so.
So, what do you want? Put it out back, advertise it, reach out to the young man, see if he's interested, and do an executive interview.
I would say reach out to him first and see if he's interested, if not, then put it out.
I'm sorry, Mark, what did you say?
I said, I would suggest reaching out to this gentleman, asking if he's interested. You know, if he says yes, then we can do executive session. Or if he says no, then just put it out in the. radio.
And just a side note, we did have the Department of Corrections come by a few months ago and we signed up to get on their a contract to have prisoners come out and do weeds, whatever we need it. So right now we're just waiting for a contract with the Department of Corrections. They didn't know if it would be done before summer, but I mean, maybe that will pan out and we can get help that way, but we're still waiting on that contract.
Okay. I need a second on the utility worker.
Second.
I second.
Roll call.
Tiffany,
Yes.
Mr. Ross,
Yes.
That's your
Ms.
fault,
Gilman?
Mr. Romero. You got her all
Mr.
shook up.
Romero,
Now she wants to go home.
Mr. Trujillo,
You forgot me. No, he did not.
I did.
The money can turn red.
Miss Calhoun.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
It's got it recorded.
So, I see now where Mr. Romero was talking about the resolution.
Playground.
Huh?
Jay,
We forgot the playground.
Oh, playground
Keep
equipment.
skipping everything, huh?
Sorry. Bid for Levita, or again, no, we didn't get any bids.
Okay, so me and Mr. Trujillo were just talking. And he said that it would be, if possible, if we can get Mr. Baldino to take his vehicle over there and maybe get Mr. Ruiz and his friends to load on the flatbed and bring it.
Bid.
And pay Gerald for his.
You didn't say that.
Oh, no, because you're.
Well, no, I'm
right
just,
there,
I'm
you
just
wanna-
saying, because it.
No, no, because it would only be right if we're putting it out
Well,
for
yeah.
bid. I mean, and he
Yeah.
decides to do it, then you have, I mean, you don't have to, but that would be the right thing to do, was to pay him because you're using his vehicle
And the gas.
and the fuel and, well, that is time, but I mean, as far as fuel.
He's driving, well, he's not driving personal.
And if we could get her husband to get the equipment on the truck.
But how many trips? That's the
I
thing.
don't know, I don't know how much
Because
there is.
there's,
It was just a suggestion,
didn't I send you
a
the,
lot of them.
yeah,
We can't.
we don't have bids. Now, I did talk to the kid, the young man, I should say, Grant, and so he did tell me, and this was the crazy part. I don't remember this one, but he said that he had somebody that was willing to remove and bring the playground equipment for us. And he would have at the time done it for free. I didn't know this. I'm
Oh, he
telling
said
you.
it now, though.
But now, no, he's busy and they're out.
That would give us a
I
good
did,
opportunity to put all that equipment.
a month ago, I stopped and I checked the equipment still there. And then I called on that Monday, I called that Grant and he said, no, he said, as a matter of fact, I was gonna reach out to you. He said, I haven't heard from you. But he was going to look around to see if he could find somebody that would, was interested in helping us move that equipment. And that we figured out it could be paid out of the lottery funds because it's for outdoors.
And I think it would be, I think it would be fair that Mr. Baudino could put in a bid. We've advertised it, everybody had a chance. No, there's no response, so you don't have to do it for free. I would bid on it.
Don't commit yourself if you're not
No, no,
interested.
it's not that, honey. I got a job that I'll be doing for the next 6 months.
Well, that took care of
I'm
that.
working on the highway out here.
You know what, I don't know,
Yeah, this is not a good
maybe,
time.
let me ask. Ryan, he has a really big trailer, but I don't know how.
Who is it?
Valentine.
Valentin, now,
And I guess that's something to
What
also
about
Sarah,
renting a
check
unit?
the search up. Can we move that on our own
have
without
you seen the equipment?
liability? Would the town liability
That's
insurance
No,
cover?
the equipment.
Right, so let's add that.
We have to
check the
take
search
it
up.
apart and then like number it and then bring it in sections. We can't, from the
Maybe
meter.
ask him to see what they say. That's all I can do that. And then maybe we can get.
Did you say you looked at that stuff? Is there stuff that needs to be taken apart or?
Well, I think we have to take it apart to bring it.
That's a lot of
Like-
playground equipment.
Right, walls,
Just
down,
down.
And then we'd have to remove it, but we'd have to number it so that we put it all back together where it's supposed to be.
But they also have that big awning that they're offering too, right?
But
We could
see,
put it-
we figured that one out. We figured we could cut down the poles. We don't need the concrete and then just add poles to extend it
And we
later.
could put it over the concrete slab on the top. I'll put it in my yard for carpet.
I thought that, telling the town, well, look, for my services, let me bid on it.
But if the equipment's still available,
That's what he said.
well, we gotta do something.
But you know what? And he's right, because this time of the year, that's what that Grant said to me. He said, they're busy. Because it is like a trucking company or something. So this time of the year, and everybody that has a trucking company is busy, because this is the time of the year that they're doing, hauling and everybody's hauling, doing whatever. So anyway, so let's go ahead and we'll, I guess, table that and decide what. Well, everybody looks around.
Yeah.
So motion to table,
A motion to table this until
Second.
the next meeting.
yes.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Yep.
Mr. Rojas.
Yes.
Ms. Gilman,
Yes.
Mr. Romero,
Yes.
Mr. Trillo.
Yes.
Okay, resolution 2025 R-61 for meeting dates.
It's gonna be revised.
Yeah.
So table for revision with the exclusion, we want the part that says,
Just put on there a board member.
but no, it's true. I mean, that should be optional. I don't think that they should be forced to go to those
No, but
meetings.
somebody has to, because
Wait.
according to this, it says neither the board of trustees nor the town staff are
But
required.
it said are
That's what Romero
required.
was talking
That
about.
doesn't say that you can't go. It says, so it's saying that we're not gonna force you to go.
Yeah, no, it needs to be a different wording.
So does that mean that the town staff is required to go to
No,
those things?
no,
Not
it's
the-
not,
not
it's
the
not
staff?
you, this
Okay.
is the board, but it's saying that,
Yeah, it says they're not required, but it's just the way it's worded.
Could you just say a
but how
board?
else would you word it when you're telling them you're not, it's not a requirement, but you can attend at your own discretion.
So I guess that brings up the question, then if the board staff, the board members are not required, how are we going to make sure there's somebody there? So I think they either have to be required or not. Unless we're gonna make a schedule and everybody's gonna take turns and go.
Well, I think this was written from, probably some of the other communities, that he represents. And that's probably something that it's not a requirement, because by law, you can't require them to attend a town hall meeting because they are actually the hosts.
And this is also still, these are still considered special meetings, even though there's not there's gonna be a resolution. They're still considered a special meeting. It's not like a regular meeting like our fourth Thursday. So these are special still, even though there's gonna be a resolution.
Well, you know what, if you keep reading over and over, it does sound okay. It really does. It's just when you first, the way you said, neither the board, none of the trustees or the town staff are required to attend the hall meeting, because it's not a mandatory meeting.
It isn't.
But at the same time, we just need to know who's gonna be to a meeting, but we don't have to go, but it would be nice to know who's gonna be there, because if it's at the community center, who's gonna open the door for us?
One of the issues also is that how are we gonna know what they talk about in the town hall meeting?
Well, no, this is what I'm trying to tell you, Mr. Romero. This says that we're not telling you, you have to go, you have to go, you have to
Well,
go,
no,
you have to
I
go.
understand
What
that
we're
part.
saying
I
is,
understand that part.
that's your choice. You wanna go,
What if all of us say, no, we're not gonna go? And they have a town hall
but
meeting?
but why would you say that?
No, you can't do it.
Then there wouldn't be a town hall meeting.
The only way I would go is, because I'm always. The only way I would not
She's
go,
more stuff.
I wouldn't go is if I have to be out of town or something, with the family. But other than that, I would be at the meeting.
And you?
I've been on a,
See?
Me too.
So this is just basically saying it's not mandatory for us to go
Yeah, see,
because it's not a
it's
mandatory.
telling Mr. Trujillo, you know what, Mr. Trujillo? If you have other plans, you don't have to be there. Miss Galvin, if you want to be there, that's your choice. That's all it's saying.
And like I said, when you first read it, I was like, no, wait a minute, it doesn't sound right. But the more you read it, then,
Read it one more time.
yeah, I did. I already read it 4 times.
Oh my God.
Okay. So we just take it as it is. I would motion that we read the way.
Okay, so then I can go ahead and read this resolution for the board to accept.
Yes.
It's gonna take me 2 minutes, Mr. Romero. Resolution number 2020 2025 R-61, a resolution of the Town Board of Aguilar declaring a schedule for public meetings for the residents and Board of Trustees of the Town of Aguilar. Whereas Section 2-8 and 2-9 of the Aguilar Municipal Code provides the mayor the authority to conduct all the meetings of the town, and whereas after consultation with the Board of Trustees, the town desires to change the non-regular meeting schedule, and whereas any non-regular meetings may be canceled upon a majority vote of the mayor and Board of Trustees at any time upon their sole discretion. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby declares that the Board of Trustees workshop shall be held at 5 p.m. on the second Tuesday of each month, with a special meeting of the Board of Trustees to be held at 6 p.m. Thereafter, town hall meetings may be held on the third Wednesday of each month. If they are held, they will begin at 5 p.m. at the Aguilar Community Center. Neither the Board of Trustees nor the town staff are required to attend town hall meetings. Any special meetings or town hall meetings discussed herein may be canceled at the sole discretion of the Board of Trustees upon majority vote. Adopted and passed by a majority vote of those elected to the town board this
27th of
27th day of June, 2025.
Right over by about 8 seconds. Huh? Hallelujah.
Yeah, man. Well, city.
I motion, we have approved that, we did read.
A second.
Roll call.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
Mr. Graha,
Yes.
Ms. Gilman,
Yes.
Mr. Romero,
Abstain.
Mr. Treehouse.
Yes.
What you do?
Because he wants to hurry up and get it.
Okay, so fasten your seatbelts. Here we go. Escuchando ojos allá, señor Romero. Ordinance number 2025-289. An ordinance of the Board of Trustees of the town.
Don't slow
Really don't
down.
read it that slow.
An ordinance of the board. You just kicked me.
I mean, I know we're slow, but we're not that slow.
An ordinance of the Board of Trustees of the Town of Aguilar, Colorado, repealing and replacing ordinance number 289 adopted March 24th, 2022, and ordinance number 258 adopted February 8th, 2017, whereas the town desires to repeal and replace previous ordinances dealing with the dates for meetings of the Board of Trustees in the town, and whereas the town also desires to add in additional guidelines for the administration of meetings of the Board of Trustees. Now therefore be it ordained by the Board of Trustees of the Town of Aguilar, Los Animas County, Colorado. 1, Aguilar Municipal Code 2-4, 2-7, 2-8, and 2-9 vest in the mayor and the Board of Trustees the power to regulate regular and special meetings with the Town of Aguilar. 2, the town has previously passed ordinance 281, 258, which sets specific dates and times with which meetings will be held. Additionally, 2.2-7 of the Aguilar Municipal Code provides a time when regular meetings should be held. The town hereby repeals ordinance 281 and 258 in their entirety. Further, to the extent that section 2-7 conflicts with this ordinance, it is also repealed. Section 1, Chapter 2, Article 1, Section 2-7 of the Aguilar Municipal Code is revised to read as follows. A, the regular meetings of the Board of Trustees shall be held on the fourth Tuesday of each month at the town hall at 6 p.m. except on legal holidays when no meeting shall be held. If a regular meeting is scheduled on a legal holiday, the meeting will automatically be held on the third Tuesday of the month. No regular meeting of the Board of Trustees shall exceed 2.5 hours in length, beginning with the Pledge of Allegiance. The mayor may request an extension of the meeting not to exceed 30 additional minutes, from the Board of Trustees in order to finish any business currently underway at the expiration of the time limit. 4, all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict with this ordinance are hereby repealed or amended to the extent necessary to conform to this ordinance. If any clause, sentence, paragraph, or part of this ordinance or application thereof to any person or circumstances shall for any reason be adjudged by a court of competent jurisdiction to be illegal or invalid, such judgment shall not affect application to other persons or circumstances, and those other portions of this ordinance not illegal or invalid shall continue in full force and effect as to those provisions. Introduced, read, and passed on the first reading in order to publish this 27th day of June 2025.
Can we really get our meeting done in 2 hours?
If y'all stop asking questions.
It said 2.5 hours, right? But we're not on this yet.
I know.
Can I get a motion to
I
approve
motion to approve.
ordinance 289 for regular meeting dates?
Yes, just what you said.
Second? Move Gerald?
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
Mr. Barajas,
Yes.
Ms. Galvin,
Yes.
Mr. Romero,
Yes.
Mr. Trill.
Yes.
Okay, frost-free hydrant at Crump-Wells.
So really quick, we have a problem where, above the reservoir at the Crump Wells, that's considered, the entry point before the reservoir. Where we normally take samples there, that frost-free hydrant is on somebody's property and it's not working correctly. So we had a emergency meeting on Tuesday with CDPHE because this came up at the meeting, our regularly scheduled meeting. Short end is that they are insisting that we put in another frost-free hydrant on the other side of the fence. So when you go into Elizabeth's property, there's a frost-free hydrant there. We've been using that for testing for forever, I guess. And the state does not want it on their property. They want us to move it to the other side and have it on our main service line where they're hoping we'll get better chlorine residuals. And apparently the hydrant we're using now, when you turn it on, it's sputtering, dirty water's coming out of it. So we were basically told that by the time they do the sanitary survey, which is scheduled for the second week in September, if we don't have this new frost-free hydrant installed, we're gonna get a ding on our sanitary survey, which would cause us to be in, I think, a tier 3 violation. So they kind of gave us a heads up we have between now and then to get it fixed so that it doesn't affect our, us being in compliance with the water. So I did speak with Derek. He most probably can do it. We just found this out Tuesday and I touched bases with him yesterday. So I'm just asking for permission to have another frost-free hydrant put in on the main there. And I mean, we don't have anything in motion, but just to kind of see what we need to do. And then, I mean, if it's a big cost, we can bring it back to the board before anything's done.
If it needs to be done, I say do it.
It needs to be done.
I say do it.
And she did say before she came in September, it most probably needed to be replaced so that it doesn't affect our compliance.
And if y'all looked at the World Journal yesterday, we're in compliance. Our water's good. Yeah, and I mean, it was good. Even the report on the gas leak was good, so we did good.
Well, I motion to get this hydrant done as soon as possible.
Okay.
Because it needs to be done.
Okay, great.
Second.
Either one.
Mayor Pro
Thank
Tem,
you.
Yes.
Mr. Barajas, Ms. Galvin,
Yes.
Mr. Romero,
Yes.
Mr. Trill.
Yes.
Okay, correspondence, I only have, yes, sir.
Can I bring something up real quick, like?
Yeah.
When and I visited Mr. Burns today, he told me, I'm curious about the type and nature of being on there. But he told me that he informed the town attorney that he was resigning. We haven't heard anything from the attorney, right? That's what he told me.
No, and I will tell you,
Let me finish, let me finish. Then he told me that if that's not the case, that he would like to be put on the agenda at our next meeting, and he will come in and give us the resignation letter that he wants to talk to us.
I think at this point, after 4 meetings missed or however many, I believe that a letter should be sent that he removed himself for failure to comply with his duties as a board member. And so he should be removed. I don't think we need to get a letter of resignation. Now, he told you before that his attorney asked him not to resign, okay? And then I was asked already at a meeting I was in with the attorneys, and I said, I can resign. So that's where I'm at, but I do know, and Colorado law also states that 3 meetings missed, that, you failed to perform your duty as a council member. And so therefore you yourself removed yourself from that seat. So now that is now up to the board to move forward in declaring that vacancy and getting letters of intent.
At the next meeting? At the next meeting?
We can do that at our next special meeting. And also, you all have a copy of the reports from the water from last week's meeting. As people were asking how they got to this, and this is how they did the rate study. And our workshop, what I'd like on the board to discuss is to go over campers, abandoned vehicles, junk vehicles. What else?
RVs, camping trailers.
Yeah,
Tiny houses.
campers, tiny houses.
And then I guess the age of mobile homes. Right now, we require them to
Right,
be.
and then visit what the lady requested today.
We kind of slipped by it, but employees, what are they supposed to be doing? Like Sarah and them, the job description. Now, when they come up for, and they want a raise or something, go by.
Oh, I think there's something else that we need to discuss and
Yes.
it needs to be on the agenda.
We have the executive session or?
Yeah, but for right now, I think we need to focus on working towards those ordinances like he said, but I will look up and get some job descriptions.
Okay. Like when they come up for, they want a raise or something, well, what do
Well,
you
if
do?
y'all remember, you probably don't even know when's the last time these 2 girls have had a raise.
That's what I'm looking at.
And, there's a little injustice going on there.
Don't forget, you ladies, put on your job description 2 meter readers and
Yeah,
laborers and.
because, anybody else wouldn't be doing it, but
That's not my job.
So can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion adjourned.
I make,
Second.
one more thing I want to bring
Wait,
up.
wait,
Oh,
time out.
I want to see Cantoros's contract
He'll get you a copy.
because the bid has not been approved yet because we didn't see it.
I thought you had approved it already.
No, we did not.
Did you go
Nope.
get a copy for you?
We did not approve anything for that
Okay.
contract. Nobody has seen it. I haven't.
Frank, you sound like the guys that worked at the mill forever.
Okay.
It's not my job.
I think I did. I second.
Oh, yeah, the mill, that's all.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Pick up that paper.
Mr.
Not my
Ross.
job.
Right? Adjourn.
Yes,
Ms. Merriman,
no.
Mr. Romero,
Yes.
Mr. Trill.
Yes.
It's been fun, folks.
Right?
Okay. I've seen you, Carol. Take care. I'm going to Denver.
You are? Are you staying there for the fourth?
I'll come home and then I'm gonna go back for the fourth.
Travel it up, huh?
Yeah.
Good night, all you good people.
Good night.
Good night.
Okay, good night.
So I had told you in one of the meetings that I did have, I did have the contract.
No, I remember you saying that, but I
And I
didn't see
told
it.
you, the only thing that was, I deleted was the part where he was appointed,